Absolutely. This meeting is being recorded. First of all, depending on where you live, good evening or good afternoon, everybody. What's really fun is like one of our presenters today is Tom Paul. He's in Halifax. I'm Cheryl Mativa. I'm Zone 28 Public Image Coordinator. Amy Scheller is Zone 32 Public Image Coordinator. And I'm in Alaska. So we're 5 hours different. So that's the fun of public image. We get to be adaptable, right? So again, we're going to be recording. Feel free to put anything you wish in the chat. And then if time permits, we're going to refocus on that at the end. One of the things that we're going to talk about real quick here in the beginning is these webinars are between Zone 28 and 32. However, we've opened them up to anybody. I was a facilitator at Pacific Northwest Pets 2 weekends ago, and I handed the flyer out because what we're talking about is relevant to anybody and everybody. And one of the things that Zone 28 and 32, Amy and I are really committed to is not only building the collaboration between our teams, right, and doing more and more together. These webinars are a collaboration between both zones, but our goal is to extend public image well beyond our zones and just really encompass a broader range of people because the tools are, oh my gosh, they're relevant to anybody and everybody, bottom line. So things that we're going to talk about today is this webinar is going to be talking about and social media. If you would all like to mark your calendars, our next webinar, we do them bi-monthly, will be on May 5th, same time, same place. And that one is going to be talking about how to use AI and how to create a podcast. So again, just really interesting subjects. And then, Amy, I'm going to let you chat a little bit before we get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awards that we've created.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jay, would you mind pulling up the we'll go to the second slide there then. And you'll see that we have the reminder for our next webinar, which is going to be great. If you saw with your registration, you could have registered for both webinars there for both dates. If you didn't register for the May 5th, go back and register for that. But new this year, we started a public image award, Zones 28 and 32 Ignite Public Image Award. So what is that? You will be getting, we are trying to really encourage clubs and districts can apply for this award. And every other month, we have an action item for you to check off your list that is going to help you elevate your public image and helps us see all the great work that you're doing. So the first action was to conduct a public image audit of your branding from all throughout. And if everyone could mute their microphone, thank you so much. Awesome. So conduct a public image audit of your branding. The second action was to create a Why Join Rotary website article or blog style article on your website so that we can kind of counteract and encourage some good Google SEO and AI answers as to why somebody should join Rotary. And tonight we're announcing our third action, which is to showcase a social media post that highlights collaboration. When we collaborate and leverage partnerships within our social media, we expand our reach to new audiences. So we want to see a really great example of a social media post that either collaborates with your neighboring clubs, your district, or community partners by tagging them and just really highlighting and showing off that collaboration. So what do you do when you've done these items and checked them off? You're going to go to our zone website under the Public Image Resources page. And at the very top, there's 3 little quick links for Google Forms for you to self-report that you have done these actions. We will be announcing the award recipients of people who have checked off these public image tasks at our zone summit in the fall. So we want to give away a lot of awards this first year. So please check those off. If you haven't started yet, you can still catch up. So awesome. Thank you, Jay. So Jay is going to kick us off tonight with our topics of social media. Jay, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it very much. Can everyone hear me okay? Great. All right. Tonight's on social media, and our last seminar, our webinar, we covered websites and newsletters. And social media is a critical part of your communications toolkit, along with email, newsletters, and website. Social media can connect your club and with current and past members, prospective members, donors, friends. Using it in an effective way can increase your community's awareness of your club and its activities, and most importantly, attract new members. So we're going to start with a couple basic premises here, is that people join for causes, not organizations. And we believe that Rotary will grow when people can emotionally connect with us, see themselves in our messaging, and sees the impact that we have in the community. That's what they're looking for. One of the most common Googled items relating to Rotary is, what is Rotary? So I think having this connection will answer why, what Rotary is, and answer some of the questions. So with your club social media, first consider who your target audiences are. For example, Rotary is very broad and it appeals to different people in different ways. So for example, young professionals, grow your network, leadership opportunities, increase your impact. Mid-level professionals, you built success, now built legacy, meaning beyond career, mentorship of others. And retired folks, stay active, focused, make a difference in the community, purpose, belonging, and friendship. So once you think about this, consider certain things like short video clips or stories highlighting local service projects. Member testimonials. Why did they join Rotary? Before and after community impact stories.
Basically, that's what we
So here's some other things to consider. Again, we're people of action. That's what's going to answer what is Rotary the most effective way. So it's important to say what you did or will do and how it impacts your community. Show what you did. It could be even after the fact. What did you accomplish? Yeah. And always, always include a call of action. Join the club, volunteer for service, come to an event, donate, learn more. So we're going to go over 10 tips here for social media posts. A few of these are going to be covered in more detail with another presenter, but let's go down the list here. The first is develop a content plan. Now, this does not have to be real complicated, but just, again, thinking about your audience, how often you want to post, also consider the platforms you want to be on, and get it written out in some sort of form. I know personally, I plan on a weekly basis. Other people plan on a month. Some people do a year. Just get something so that you get into a system and you start generating some content and put a schedule to it. 2, use scheduling options for social media to save time. We're all really busy. We have family, we have other obligations, we have Rotary, other things in Rotary. And it's good to use this, but it's also good because a lot of times you can sit in a quiet room and plan, or plan with others as a group, and have enough time to discuss what you want to post and then schedule it. You can schedule a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance, whatever works for your schedule. 3, visit the Rotary Brand Center for ideas and assets. Sometimes you can just go there for just get an idea. Maybe you're dry on what you want to post and you want to be inspired about something. Go to the Brand Center and check that out. Use captivating video or photos to tell a story. It's okay to have some of the photos, people sort of staring at the camera, holding the check. That's fine sometimes. We all do it. But again, you want photos and video that tells a story and shows we're people of action. Planting a tree, serving food to homeless people, whatever the item is, show that we're doing action. 5, consider short form videos, which are typically shot vertically on a smartphone and put on YouTube. They're YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels. These are fairly easy to do. The smartphones work really great for this. Minimal amount of editing. You could do some great posts on different topics. Tagging individuals and organizations to increase your post engagement. This is really, really important. This is going to be covered in a little bit more detail in a few minutes. Use hashtags to direct your content to the right audience. This is also extremely important, so that folks that are interested in your kind of content, that you are directing those to. Build traffic to your club's website by creating a call to action link. A lot of times I purposely put more information on the website in order to generate more traffic to the website where a potential member or donor or something can really see the full focus of your club. So this is a good practice to try. 9, encourage your members to comment and share. This is something you have to constantly remind members about, and this helps increase the way it's shared in the algorithms. 10, create thumbnail images for video posts to increase engagement. If you have the ability, or someone in your club has the ability to use Canva or another software, this really helps get the engagement out. You can put a message, for a further action message on the thumbnail, some images, again, to create some interest with people that are looking at it. All right, 10 engaging content ideas. So some of these, hopefully, you're already doing. Some other things, maybe not. You can think about it. 1, interview and profile members. This is one of my favorite things to do. This, again, could just be on a smartphone, maybe with a tripod, maybe not, and just question them. You could do it on Zoom, incidentally, too, and record them. What are you most proud of? What's the most meaningful Rotary story? Edit it. And this is a great way to get the information out about Rotary. 2, profile new members or their background and why they joined Rotary. This is another favorite of mine. It's a way to get a new member engaged in your club right away, find out more about them, and share that information with other members as well as, of course, the public. 3, develop and highlight reasons to join Rotary. You can easily come up with 5 or 7 or 10 reasons why to join Rotary. Just go out week after week, post after post, and highlight that. Interview funding and volunteer recipients and tell their impact stories. This is another favorite of mine. A lot of times we started a practice recently to give checks to organizations that we fund, come to a meeting, and then we'll just record a thank you from them. And it's, again, a nice way to get out information about Rotary and shows the impact of your fundraising and other volunteer activities. Create a story on about your club's youth programs. Many of our clubs are very active in either RILA or Youth Exchange, Interact, Rotaract. Maybe a Youth Exchange student, what are they doing now? Maybe they're in Youth Exchange 10 or 20 years ago. What are they doing now? That creates a really interesting story or video to share. Highlight a service project or social event. show Rotarians having fun. Don't forget the fun part. This is really a critical thing to get across, that even though we're doing a lot of times serious
Yeah, we
work,
gotta go.
but it's important to show that we're having fun. 7, share posts from Rotary International's website and social media to show impact. 8, download a video from the Rotary Brand Center and share. There's tons of videos there, all different 30-second, 1 minute, all different topics. Sometimes you can even add your logo, your club logo or district logo, to get the word out about some of the impact that we're having around the world. Promote an upcoming district event. And last on the list is highlight Rotary theme months with impact stories. So each month Rotary has a theme. You can pick whatever theme you want, whatever the month is, and highlight that. So this was example from polio, which is usually centered around polio in October. Okay, so we're just going to see a very short video clip to demonstrate that it very not high tech, not highly polished, but something to quickly show what impact, in this case, it was the district effort. And so it's a short video. Okay, with that, Amy, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Jay. There are slides playing, so hopefully you all can see the slides. If not, if you're on a desktop or computer, at the very top of your Zoom toolbar there, you'll see the Zoom Workplace, Meetings, and then there'll be a tab for Jay's screen that you want to click. If you're on a phone, you might have to swipe through where you see everyone's faces, and then you can see the slides there. So hopefully that helps. But thank you so much, Jay. That was fantastic. So now I'm going to introduce Hadi, who is on Zone 28's public image team, to introduce our club success story. Hadi.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Amy. I'd love to introduce our guest here. She's I'm proud to call her my friend, Erin Newfing. She's a member, one of the newest members of our club. She hasn't been a member for not even a year yet. Erin has taken on so many tasks at our club, and she has improved our public image tremendously. She'll tell you about the numbers, about where we're at. She's brought our club right up there, and then same thing with the district. Erin is she's a facilitator, she's a coordinator, and she's a graduate of University of Toronto. And she's a genius, and a super mom as well. She volunteers all over the place with her kids, and with anybody she knows that they're looking for volunteers, she recruits everybody to go out and do something. So everybody, I won't take anything away from Erin. Erin, please, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Hadi. I mean, no pressure, right? No pressure there. But hi, everybody. I am new to Rotary.
It would not surprise me. My
Hold on, let me mute. If you do have your microphone on, please mute.
Yeah.
Doreen. Go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
So I am very new to Rotary, and I found that being involved with PR is the best single way to get to know what Rotary is about, because you hear all the stories, you're collecting all the information, and you're telling your entire job is telling people about what Rotary is. So very quickly, you have to learn about what Rotary is and what Rotary does. And one of the things that I've been doing a lot of is working on Facebook and social media to try to tell other people, to try to tell my friends, why am I doing this thing? Why am I involved in this? And our club has gone from, I'm going to say maybe the average post would get, maybe 200 views or something like this. Our highest viewed post is over 16,000 views. And we're really climbing. Last month, in the last 28 days, we've had over 120,000 views. And I realize a lot of those are me going back and looking at our own things, but okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. And how did we get there? Like, what is making this magic happen? Well, there are two streams of thought that seem to be working for our club. One thought, Rotarians love Rotarians. Okay. As anybody who follows Debbie Vance or Tom Gump or Evan Burrell knows, if you create a beautiful graphic, it ends up getting shared by all the Rotary clubs. If you create something that speaks to Rotary, that speaks about Rotary, something that just really catches people and grabs them, it's going to get shared amongst every Rotarian in the world. So I'm looking at, we just did a Foundation Fridays series. So for the love of Rotary, the month of February, every Friday we did something good about the foundation. We used the same sort of images. We used the same sort of graphics, and that's where we got our 16,500 hits, because it was shared amongst all the Rotarians. And how wonderful is that? If all I want are a lot of hits, I can get that, right? But what if I want new members? I mean, Rotarians we can applaud Rotarians. We can share with Rotarians how great Rotary is, and we can all, stand in a circle and pat each other, right? But how do we get new people? How do we get new members? How do we talk to people who don't already drink the Kool-Aid? Well, one of the things that's worked really well for us is we have these fellowship breakfasts. It's essentially another meeting. Our usual meetings are once a week at lunch, but once a month we have a fellowship breakfast. And I put this ad, just a simple, I had a picture of us at breakfast, everybody smiling, people of action holding our coffee, right? And I put it in a number of our Facebook groups outside of Rotary. So I put it in Ottawa Volunteers. I put it in the Barhaven Moms Club. I put it in the local neighborhood association, and so on and so forth. And I said, hi, everybody. It's New Year's. Are you looking to make new friends? Is one of your resolutions to get new connections? Come meet us. You don't have to know a thing. Just come meet some friendly people, say hi, and let's have a nice breakfast together. Boom. Putting that out into those community groups to a single breakfast. We had 9 people who'd never heard of Rotary engage with us. 4 people showed up to our meeting. They didn't know anybody. They had no reason. I mean, I think it takes a lot of chutzpah to go to a meeting where you don't know anybody, you don't know a thing about it, and say, hey, what's up? But aren't those the people we want in Rotary? Aren't those the people we want, who take initiative, who aren't afraid to get out there, who want to make connections? They came. And of those 4, 2 have already become members. And those 2 have joined us. I think they were inducted, 3 weeks ago? And they've already been on at least 3 different community service engagements. They've already been out in the public representing Rotary. Wow. And of those 9 that I mentioned, another 2 are in the pipelines. They're saying, I can't quite right now. I have a commitment till June, but then I'd like to talk to you. Thanks, Romy. I appreciate that. They were interested. And after these breakfast meetings, I take a reel. I get some pictures of our district governor, Graham, doing something a little funny at the restaurant. I get a picture of two people not even looking at me. They're having a really active conversation. They're totally into it, really engaged. And I did a reel. So many people watched that video. And I keep making fun of it, and I shouldn't, because that's not maybe fair to all concerned. But people are watching us eating breakfast because we're having fun. We're engaging with each other. I took one big room and these two are chatting and those two are chatting and these three are chatting, and there are all these side conversations. And I even did a live in which you hear me saying, I don't even know if you can hear me right now because there's so much noise in this room. I don't even know if you can hear me, but there's a lot going on. You can hear the energy in this room, and people are watching those videos. And the final kick at the can, the last thing that's really, really ramping us up, every time I make a post, I love my own post. I think I'm awesome. So should you, right? So I love my own post. I write a comment to my own post. Then I log in as Erin Ufing. Hi, Rotary Club. I agree with you. That sounds really great. I loved being there too. Here's a picture. Then I go back in as my Rotary Club. Thank you, Erin. We appreciate that. What's the next thing you're coming to? And it's very confusing in my head sometimes. I have these chats back and forth with myself. But the more engagement there is, the more connections, the more likes, the more meaningful comments, the more people are going to see it. So yes, a lot of our posts start off with a really fast 7 hits. Me, my husband, my club, my district, but it gets the ball rolling. And once it's rolling, boom. And I think that probably exceeded my time. So I'm going to say thank you so much for letting me
Awesome.
share our experience.
Thank you, Erin. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Hadi, for sharing Erin's insights with us. Really good tips in there. Shania on Zone 28's public image team is up next to talk about how you can optimize those social media posts to get the best engagement there. Shania, you're up. Let's see, Shania.
I don't know.
Oh,
Can
there you
everyone hear
are.
me? Test, test. You can hear me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we
Sorry
can
if it
hear
gets
you.
a bit. Sorry, it gets a bit loud. Sometimes, like the noise is just a lot. There's a lull, and then it changes here. So I'm talking about optimizing for engagement. And just to translate it, how do we make what we've actually posted or what we want to share go further and increase that reach? To say working with the algorithm and not against it. And so the simple one, I mean, someone, I think it was Jay who had just mentioned about tagging earlier on. I think also it's good to tag tactically because for every tag, it puts you in front of a certain audience. And so I've put suggestions of the kind of people that you want to tag. So even if an event happened and they were 9 speakers, you want to make sure all 9 speakers are involved because for every person you tag, you are increasing the audience, the number of people who can actually see or listen, read, whatever you're going to post. Also to tag partner organizations. I don't know if you've ever seen on Instagram where it says there are collaborators on the post. A collaborator on a post will increase your reach because their followers, if they have 20,000 followers and you have 5, you now have 20,005 people who are going to see that post. Tag your district account. The districts are so busy, you know, especially when they're doing like Discon and all these different things. Make sure you're tagging, even if you just attended the event, tag. So just to stress the tag and just a line there, every tag increases the chance of resharing to larger networks as well. So some people might reshare, but if not, you just tagging them is the equivalent of doing that for a repost. As you said, use smart hashtags. So it's the targeted hashtags, things like hashtag peace building. I'm in Toronto. So that's why we had things like Rotary Toronto, like your city name, Rotary District. It can also be cause-based, like if there's a lot more going on in the post, like let's just say you worked at a food bank, you're going to have tags that are about more than food. You can have tags about community, all these different things. And also post at high engagement times. So when you tag, you get better engagement at a specific time. So for weekdays, 7 to 9 a.m. is good. Over lunchtime, because a lot of people take a break and then they look at their socials. In the evenings between 6 and 8, that is another good time. And also test and track what works for your club. So you're able to see engagement metrics on the back end after a post. If you're on something like LinkedIn as well, it'll show you what kind of impressions you're getting, the audience, the people who've been looking at it. Use some of those metrics and maximize every post. So you can share a feed post to stories for Facebook and Instagram. That's a big one. That really increases reach, especially if you add music, any popular audio. That will also increase the number of people it gets in front of. And also share your add a poll or a question sticker in stories. So if you talked about something interesting, let's just say you talked about a water and sanitation project, you could ask questions about that. Like, what are you happy with the quality of your water? Even if it's a question that has nothing to do necessarily with the work that you're doing, something that you know will get people talking. That's also a good engagement point. So have sort of like really good conversation starters. Reshare member posts. That's a big one. I don't see enough clubs do this. You know, you have some members who are already really good social media champions. Repost, tag them. You know, I love the work that, you know, June is doing. Look what she's doing here. And then start talking about that work as well. And also pin your top 3 posts. So you'll be able to see on the back end your metrics. On Instagram, you do have a pin format, as well as on Facebook and on LinkedIn. So if you see that there's something people really liked, you can put it right at the top. They don't have to scroll all the way down to when you last posted that. Next slide. Oh, and I forgot to say consistency, more important than frequency. That is one of the algorithm rules. If you're posting on average 2-3 times a week, as an example, you are guaranteed an increase in followers because the algorithm likes to reward that consistency and content. Next slide. Okay, make it a club culture. I've always heard so many people saying, I don't like posting, I don't like writing anything. Everybody wants to connect with you. You'll be surprised. I'll give you a simple example. I have a friend who rates candles. He has a social media where he rates candles and he says, I bought this dollar store candle and it's cinnamon flavored. I don't like it. I give it a 4 out of 10. He has 12 million followers on TikTok. So there is nothing under the sun that is too boring for anybody. So you should not reject your own content. Let the world tell you what is good content, by the way. So make it a culture. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you find interesting, share, and share some more. Share to their stories as well, right? And like within 1 hour posting. So you could have that, you have sort of like a bulletin and you tell the club, I just posted about our Habitat for Humanity Day, you know, and then they comment, this was so great, and they tag their photos. Then you create a bit of an avalanche around your content, and that you want as many avalanches as possible. And tag friends who might be interested. So they may not be a Rotarian yet. You can still leverage this, especially if they're people with a lot of followers. Again, when you tag them, you're pushing it. And engage outward, not just inward. So this is comment on partner posts. Like I said, I mentioned an example like Habitat for Humanity, United Nations. A lot of people forget that Rotary was right at the beginning of the creation of United Nations. Those kinds of things, you can always create those connections. Celebrate district achievements. I know that our districts are doing amazing work. We don't talk enough about it, right? We do not want Rotary to be the best kept secret anymore. And also congratulate members publicly. If someone in your club received an award, reached a milestone, was recognized for something, tag it on again. They're one of our club members. We love that they do A, B, C, D. And also post what actually performs. So they say faces over flyers. We've seen this in our work. I work for Physician Association. Whenever there is a video clip of a physician speaking, it doesn't matter what they are talking about. Again, could be the most boring thing on the sun. People want to engage with it. So the videos actually do more than just a static post. And short videos, like I say, 15 to 30 seconds. It could even be something fun. Around our events, we try to create little taglines that are fun. You know, Right now, people are watching something like Bridgerton or whatever. We say, oh, we're going to have a Rotary high tea and, Bridgerton style. So you're tagging that popular culture thing, and that pushes more of the content again. And also testimonials from beneficiaries. That's an underrated one. Any community that you served, there's so much great content that comes from that. Even if you check in with them, you say, a year later, how has it been since that last event? You could pretty much utilize old features and old posts. You can recycle them and make them exciting. One of the things we do is we look at anniversaries, 4 years since, our club was founded. And then you've got new content. There's always so much that creates engagement. And then also the why I joined Rotary, someone was talking about it earlier as well. That is always a powerful one. I mean, that story is something that brings more people's faces onto Rotary sites and them asking, like, what is Rotary? That is one of the best questions. People engage with people, not posters, as I said. And so, a bonus point, a bonus growth tactic is create a simple content calendar. So if you want to tweak the kind of content that you have as well to experiment, it could be, a club social media champion as an example that you nominate, and you can collaborate on joint posts with, partners using Canva templates, as was mentioned as well, for brand consistency. And also go live at events. Oh, that's a big one. So even if it's under 5 minutes, usually an Instagram live has to be more than a minute. You could be at a concert, benefit concert, let's just say, Joe's Feed the Need. And then you just put it on live. We just started. Here's the first act. You put it for 1 minute. It actually sends an alert to all of your followers to say, hey, we want to, we want you to see that, Joe's at an event or things like that. So those, I think, are really key ways to be able to amplify what you're already doing. You already have so much content. My last note is just don't be afraid to engage, because, again, more people care about your content than don't. That's it for me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Shania. There were so many great tips there. So I have the honor of introducing our next club success story from the Rotary Club of Brooklyn Bridge. Uchenna, would you share the innovative things that you're doing with your club's social media?
All right, so I understood the power of storytelling. I knew that people connect to people more than flyers. So I understood storytelling, interviewing people, and just the engagement. So the club was great, but people were not seeing it as often. So I understood that social media was a big deal, especially Instagram. So you just need to know your niche. So I focused on Instagram because this is New York City. Everyone loves Instagram. So I targeted Instagram. Our ratio then was more of the older people. So I wanted to make the club look cool again. That was my mission. I came to make the Rotary Club, Brooklyn Bridge, cool again. So I wanted to attract the university students, working class people, from the 30 age to 40 age to 26, 24, younger generation. And I focused on Instagram. I started doing interviewing and storytelling, asking the people, oh, how long have you been in the club? Why did you join the club? And it was an interesting story. People were engaging with other people sharing the story, and they were interested. Over the last month, we've had up to 4.5K views. So a mayor or advisor for the mayor came to the club for a meeting, and I interviewed him. And it was during that period of the election for the mayor of New York City, and he was a supporter of the recent mayor. And I asked him, if you were made the mayor of New York City, what would you do? And we got up to 4.5K views just because of that question. The councillor posted it. I collaborated with him, and he posted it on his page, and we got up to 500 followers. When I started with the club, we had over 500 followers. Now we have 1.7K followers, and the club is doing very well. Just this month alone, we had 55K followers just because of interviews, asking the new president. So we just had our election, and our president will be starting in the summer. And I did an interview with the president. So what are we expecting from you? What do you want to be remembered as? And the interview got a lot of views, and people just want to see you communicate. People want to see other people communicate and want to see the people behind the club. Once they could see that, we got visibility, and for visibility comes new members, and new members comes registration. And every week we get new members and we ask them, how did you hear about the club? They tell you social media, Instagram. I got to know about the club on Instagram. I've been living in Brooklyn for a long time. I didn't know. And it's been just understand your niche, focus on it, collaborate with people, ask interview questions. How was the meeting today? What did you enjoy? Little thing will make other people interested and people just want to connect with other people. So that's the secret. Thank you guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, I think the theme, we've been hearing a lot about video to increase our reach. Uchenna, I love that you do it interview style because I think that makes people a little bit more comfortable than being put on the spot to say something for a script. So that's a great way to approach it. All right. So next we have our next topic, Substack. And I'd love to know if any clubs are already using Substack or if you are do it leisurely. But we have Tom from Zone 28 Public Image Team. And Tom is going to share with us what is Substack, how we can use it for like about the next 10 to 11 minutes. Tom, the floor is yours.
Everyone, my name is Tom. I live in Halifax. And for our zone, for our district 7815, we started experimenting with Substack this year, specifically for public image. So the idea is we would use that to post some ideas, share our thoughts. And the purpose of my presentation today is just to show you some of the reasons why it might work for your club or your district. Obviously, it's not the only tool out there, and this is not an endorsement of the tool, but I thought we'd share how we use it and how your club could use it too. Next slide, Jay. So basically, Substack is a combination website, blog, and newsletter. So what's really unique about it, or what's very helpful for many clubs, is that it's a one-stop shop. You can post your content up there, it's out there in the world, and it delivers to your subscribers. People can view your website without subscribing, or they can subscribe and get it into their inbox. You can customize the look and feel. There's some basic analytics involved, some subscriber management, and you can use audio, visuals, video, and some people use it as a podcast format. So you can really make it look and feel how your club or how your district wants to communicate with the world. And what's really important is it's a tool that your subscribers or people who visit your Substack don't need to create an account. Nobody likes more username than passwords. So you're going to be able to sign up. Oh, sorry, you don't have to sign up, but you can come and look at someone's Substack, like our district one for public image, and you don't have to create an account. Go ahead, Jay. So here's some of the reasons why I think your clubs, your district might like it. It's direct to inbox distribution. So people who want to engage with the content that you're producing are going to have it directly into their inbox. So they don't have to go out and search for it, which they can if they want. And obviously the algorithms and the search engines are going to be searching for your content, but it's going directly into your inbox. There's a super low barrier to entry. There's no super technical skills. You just have to do a few setup items to get it all set up to make it look and feel the way your club and district wants to look. It is a combination email, website, and there's also an app. So some people, as we all seem to be consuming content on our phones, you can be able to use the Substack app if you want to review, to view, to listen, to read the content you produce. It even does narration. It'll actually take your text and turn it into an audio. So if you're on the commute, you want to listen to a text post that we've created, you can actually listen to it. It's multi-author and team friendly, which is great. So you can have multiple people working on different, either the same article or different articles. You don't all have to share your own password. And obviously, like everything that's we talked about today, consistency is really important. So it's not going to be that magic bullet that's going to get all these different people following your content, but it gives you the tools to make consistency really easy, and you can expand over time. So if you do start with text posts and then suddenly you say, I want to do a podcast or I want to add some video content, it's definitely a tool that can work for you. Go ahead, Jay. Of course, there are some things you need to consider when thinking about Substack. So first of all, it's not your main website. So if you already have a really good website that you've set up for your club, this isn't meant to replace that website. And now if you think about it, you're going to be running essentially two parallel systems, which might add some complexity to your club. We're platform dependent. So if you choose either Substack or WordPress or any other tool that's similar to this, you're dependent on what that platform does in the future. They may change their model or how they how they work in the world. So we have to obviously we don't have the full control over it. Although we can do some limited design features, graphics and the colors, we don't have unlimited control. So if you're looking for that perfect website that looks exactly the way you want, this might not be the tool for you. It does require some content discipline. And again, this is what I talked about. It's not going to be it's a tool. It's not going to give you thousands and thousands of followers. You have to put the work in to create the content to put it out and keep it consistent. And obviously, it's visible to the world. So you wouldn't be sharing anything on there that would only be relevant for your own club. Go ahead, Jay. Thanks. So just to kind of, I know we don't want to get too technical, but just so everyone can understand here, what's great about Substack, as I said, is it's multi-user and team. It's very good for those kind of environments. So if you see there, we have these 3 users, Mary, Jane, and Bill. And the way it works is each one of these authors have their own Substack account or their own login. And then they can be designated to have access to any individual Substack. What's great, if you see that Bill, for example, is an author of the Anywhere Rotary Club, but he also has his own travel blog. Now, the reason this is important or valuable is that it allows different people within your club to collaborate on content for your Substack, which is super helpful. Ready for the next one? So I'll walk you through the simple process of actually publishing content. So Mary there is going to, really the only hard work that Mary has to do is create really amazing content. So whether it's a written text-based blog article, maybe it's a combination of video or audio, all her effort is going to be in creating that content. Once she publishes it in Substack, all the other hard work that we typically do in other tools is done by Substack. So it's going to distribute to people's emails, it's going to publish it on the Substack website, and it's going to be available in the app. And something that I'll talk about later is it also creates promotional assets. So once you've done all this great work of creating content, it's out there in the world, it now gives you the content, the social media specific content that you can then post on your social media channels. So you don't have to duplicate your work. It's download, upload, and publish. Ready for the next slide, Jay? So something that's really interesting now, my district, we're a bilingual district, French and English. So what we decided to do is we wanted to make sure all our content was available in both languages. But not everybody speaks both languages. I don't speak French. And we know that once we combine the 2 languages, articles get really long. So what we've done is we've created sections. So our Substack has all our articles in both English and French. And then you can subscribe specifically to the language that you want to receive in your inbox. Now, from another perspective, let's say your district or your club has a Substack and they have a section for youth exchange and the environment or Rotaract. So you have these different sections. And so anyone can go to your Substack and read your content, but they can subscribe to the things that's most important to them. So they're only getting that content that's important to them into their inbox. Go ahead, Jay. So one of the things I mentioned is it's not on your main website. So we do have some complexities here. So if you have your main club website and then you have your Substack, you're essentially managing 2 systems. And this has to be something that's thought through when you consider using Substack. But one of the things that you can do from the left-hand side, what we actually do is we automatically draw those news articles and publish them on our district public image page. So what we're doing is we're making the connection. So you're on our public image page within our district website, you can see our Substack articles. And on the right-hand side, you're seeing, I know it's a little bit small there, it's actually our menu that we have on the top of our Substack. And that's what ties people back to our district website. So we have to do a little, it's not a perfect system, but we try to mend the 2 together so people can understand what the connection is between our district and our Substack. Ready for the next slide. Most important with any newsletter is to encourage people to subscribe. So there are tools built in within Substack that you encourage people to subscribe. So if they're visiting your Substack for the first time, you could turn on a feature like we see in the slide here to encourage a person to sign up. All they need to do is put their email and they're going to start receiving emails when we publish that content. Obviously, that's optional. Might get a little bit annoying to some people and you can turn that off. But again, it's driving people. It's just like on their YouTube channel where we encourage people to subscribe. We're doing the same to our essential newsletter. Next slide, please. And here is a graphic a little video recording that I did. So basically I published a article on our Substack, and these are all the different assets that it creates that I can download, I can do some minor editing to, and they're ready to go. So remember, the hard work is really creating the content. Substack will do all the publication and the distribution, and it will give you your assets that you can then download and redistribute onto your social media. Thanks everyone. I really appreciate you checking in. I know we've heard some really great speakers. I'm super excited about some of the social media stuff, and I'll hand it back to Amy.
Thank you so much, Tom. That was amazing. Everyone should go follow Tom's Substack there. Really great resources for public image. I learned a lot too with your presentation too as well. Thank you so much. Jay, I think we have one more slide. There we go. Just a couple of reminders before we get to questions there. I put the link in to register for our next public image webinar, which is all about AI and podcasting. So it's going to be really amazing too as well. And then our zone also has a public image Substack as well too. Not as amazing as Tom's, but we're getting there. I was inspired by his. So you can subscribe to that as well. Cheryl, do you have any last little anything before we go to Q&A?
I think for, everybody that's been watching, I know a few people had to leave, but as you can all see, we really put a lot of content into these webinars. We don't want them to bog down, but we want to be able to touch on a lot. And what I really appreciate is everything that has been discussed and shared with all of us is relevant, and you can pick any portion. I personally learned a lot about Substack. It's relatively new to me. So I really appreciated the simplicity of Tom's presentation. And I would like all of you to know that if you would like more details from any of our presenters, just connect with Amy or I, and we'll be happy to share their contact info with you as well.
That's fantastic. Jay, you can stop sharing there. I'll very quickly remind everyone to participate in our Public Image Award. The link was in the chat there, but you can go to our zone page there. And I believe we do have, Diane, do we have some questions in the chat?
We sure do. Can we get an email of these slides?
Yes, and this is a great reason why we did that Zoom registration. You got the reminder for the webinar. We also then can email you the slides as well, and then the recording will be up on our Zone YouTube channel too. So look for that in a little bit. There's a little bit editing that gets done.
Great, thanks. Erin was asking, can you see any potential for monetizing Substack vis-a-vis for Rotary? Thomas, any thoughts on that? Or Amy, I know you're...
Tom, go ahead, you take that.
So the business model of Substack, other than organizations like Rotary, is for individuals to produce content and then you can monetize. So you can say, you can subscribe for a fee to my Substack. It's totally an option. I like the idea. The model for Substack is they obviously take a percentage. That's how they make money. We don't have to do that. We produce stuff out for free, and there might be some really creative ways to do that, but it's definitely possible.
Interesting. I don't see any other questions, Amy.
Thank you, Diane. I just saw that the link to register for our May 5th may not be working, may be glitching. So I will look into that, and we will send that out with the slides and the link to register for the next one there. Yeah, I think everyone is just, I hope you, hopefully,
I see some
we have
hands.
a couple.
Do you want to take some
hand raises
live?
there? Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes,
so,
let's take
and
some.
look at
Yeah,
this.
we have 6 minutes until we're in.
And we have 2 Erins. How is that going? All right, let's start with Erin Coleman. Erin? And
do you want to unmute
myself?
there?
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. I got it. So as I've just recently taken over being public image chair this last month. And I'm in District 5010 in Alaska. One thing that I noticed with a lot of clubs and with our district is it's only Rotarians that are following our pages. So I'm asking like everyone, make sure to encourage all of your people to invite their friends, because otherwise we're just in an echo chamber and we're not reaching outside of Rotarians. And to gather those new members, we need people to follow us that don't know who we are. So make sure you click on, when you go onto those social media pages, click invite, and you can invite thousands of people at once. And that's how you'll get your followers up and be able to reach outside of just Rotary.
Wonderful,
That's a
Erin.
great
Thanks so
tip.
much for that.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Erin Yufing, you're next.
Thanks for the pronunciation. The question I have is, I loved that function in Substack that Tom just described about the generation of all the social medias. And I realized we can screw around in Canva or we can use ChatGPT or whatever. But what you were showing looked really impressive without having to come up with prompts for hours. I wonder, have you ever tried just taking like, would you ever consider taking just a Club Runner story and putting it into Clubstack just to get the social medias, even if you didn't use the full functionality of Substack?
It's a great idea. And yeah, I haven't tried, but it's well worth the try. If you want to create your own Substack, and obviously there's no subscribers, you can try that out. Substack also has built-in free stock images. So if you're looking for a creative image to kind of go with your publication, and so that's what some of those articles, it's hard. We don't have a picture that kind of works. It has it available, and that forms the background of those social media content that we can share. It definitely saves a lot of time.
Wow, that's great, Thomas. We do have a question from Joe Solway.
All right. Yeah, hi. Great presentation tonight, by the way, everybody. Erin Yufing, a question for you. Our club actually just decided this morning that we were going to do a similar event, an open house type thing, a fellowship thing. Only ours is going to be in the evening. Do you screen any of these people? Like, say, give us a call first or email us to make sure they're not like politicians running for office or somebody wanting to, sell encyclopedias. Like, you have any chats with them first? You're muted. Erin, you're muted.
Mute. There we go. We haven't done any screening, and we did take a gamble by opening it to complete randos who just could come with whatever. Okay, well, I'm not going to invite them to my house for that, but this was at a restaurant, and what's the harm?
Sure.
What's the worst thing that happens?
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds great. I mean, it's fantastic. I love what you're doing.
Looks like we have time for one more. Hadi, did you have your hand up?
Actually, I was going to answer Joe's question, and then as I put my hand up, Erin answered it, and we are at a public restaurant, so we can easily kick that person out if we don't like them.
There you go. And Lisa had a quick comment, which I thought was really good. She said that part of the agreement for recipients of their community outreach grants is that the organization needs to follow their social accounts. That's a great idea.
I like that. Yeah.
Wonderful. So Amy, it's almost time if you want to take back over.
Yeah, thank you so much. So many good tips and resources shared. Thank you all so much. Before I hand it over to Cheryl to close out, I also want to say I love the club success stories that we included in this presentation. We just started doing that this time. If you have a club success story or you see another club doing something amazing, reach out to us. We would love to hear it and possibly share it on our next webinar. Cheryl, do you have any last closing thoughts?
Well, everybody, just as a wrap up, it has been such a joy to share this evening with all of you. Please remember that next webinar is going to be in May. And also, next time we come in, everybody, put in your district number next to your name so we kind of know where you're from. And representing Zone 28, July 1st, I am going to have a couple openings for a 3-year term. So if you would like to be considered, please reach out to me, because it's a lot easier for you to look at me than for me to see all of you. But thank you so much for your time. Amy.
Thank you all so much. Keep being brand champions, and we'll see you at our next webinar. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.